Been a good holiday week so far. The 4th of July, we had off yesterday. If people who are watching from outside of the U.S. and Canada, we had the 4th of July, which is Independence Day. So yeah, that would be fun. And yeah, was able to spend some time at the pool and was practicing. I was able to reach a point where I was able to hold my breath for really, really long. So that was cool. So I'm going to be hitting the pool later today, probably as well, and practicing some of those things. But life is good. I feel very blessed. We have my in-laws are very generous with cooking us yummy barbecue ribs and chicken wings and all these amazing things. So just able to reflect on a pretty awesome week. Oh, and we were able to watch the Minion movie as well. So Despicable Me 4, which was cute. The minions are adorable. So I guess it's okay to be kids every once in a while. But we went, yeah, dude, it was crazy. It was the first time I went to the movie theaters in like 5 years. So that's wild. But today I'm excited. I get to work on some of the homework assignments for the pretty late stages with the interview process with one of my opportunities, and then I'm speaking to the HR manager at a company called Culture Amp. But hopefully, I'm expecting to hear back soon to get an offer soon. So a lot of good things happening in my world. I feel very blessed, and yeah, it's gonna be awesome, man. Today's gonna be a really good day, and I just feel very grateful that I have all these amazing opportunities in front of me. Everything happens for a reason, and it's been a rough year, so it's good to see that things are moving in the right direction. I feel really good about some of these opportunities, which better than I have before. Because when if it's not a good fit, like intuitively, you could know when it's not working out in terms of interview process. But when you feel like, okay, like definitely, I'm gonna get an offer. It's a different feeling, right? Because you're much more connected to everything, and you've had a good conversation, and they like you and you like them. It's a different feel to it. So just yeah, I just dropped my wife off at her parents' place while I do a lot of work today. Today will be good. It'll be a productive day, and yeah, it's we have an extended weekend, so we might go to New York City this weekend. But then again, it's gonna rain, so we'll see what happens. But it's good to hang out in New York City. Gonna spend a bunch of time in the pool as well and just relax. I'm finishing Ram Dass Guide to Meditation book, so it's gonna be like a lot of reading around mindfulness, and yeah, I always feel good when I read a lot of these like spirituality books. It always puts you in a good state of mind. So I think for you guys, think to what books or what activities help you get into a good state of mind, right? Is it so for me, like when I get back, because my meeting's not until 10, so I'm gonna be journaling a little bit. I'm going to be doing some what's that called? Some stretching, especially because I did some swimming yesterday, so I'm gonna stretch my legs a little bit, and just yeah, it's gonna be fun. Fridays, it feels. I think a lot of people have off this Friday, so it's gonna be slow in terms of even driving now. There's not a lot of traffic, which is nice because usually around now is when people start driving to work. But since a lot of people are off for the holidays and they're hanging out by the beaches, it's it's quite it's quite empty on the roads, which is nice. But I do think maybe like 30% to 40% of people are still working. So the summer is always nice to kind of like recover and like get back, and everyone's out and about. So the energy during the summer is a lot different. That's why I love living in New Jersey in the summer. It's it's always very chill. lot of good vacations, all that. A lot of people going on vacations and all that good stuff. But yeah, so I was gonna say, so I am currently interviewing for a company that we're offering executive coaching to hedge funds. So I'm building a 30, 60, 90 plan, which is basically what are my activities, like how am I going to go about creating the strategy on how to be successful during my first 90 days at the job. And so I'm going to create like an events calendar, have different speakers, just figure out like what my lead funnel and like what my strategy is, given the conversations I've had with the chief revenue officer, CEO, and the other director of sales. So this title of this one would be director of sales for coaching and wellness. And he's building a 30,000 foot wellness center that's like an Ayurvedic, like a meditation center, yoga, and all this stuff. So that's gonna be sick to be able to be a part of that and leverage that and sell, be able to sell memberships to that as well. So that's gonna be really cool. So that is a really, really exciting opportunity to be able to have that. It's gonna be cool. Like the vision that he's building and what I want to do is very much in alignment. So life is weird, man. One moment, like a couple months ago, I was like down in the dumps. I was like, what am I doing with my life? And and don't get me wrong, there's like a lot of good things that have happened too in the last few months, but quite honestly, a lot worse. I would say a lot more negative emotions than positive emotions, for reals. So the fact that this month is shaping out to be pretty amazing is great. So it's like 5 days into July. So the second half of 24 has been amazing so far. But June has been good too. And that's life. There's going to be ups and downs, and some days you're going to feel like on top of the world, and some days you feel like, man, like what am I doing with my life? The key is to not compare yourself to others. Is to run your own race and honor your truth and just be genuine with yourself. Oh, I'm also excited because my fifth book is coming out soon. It's the topic is around like it's called don't put me in a box, Adventures of a people pleasing contrarian. That's the title we have currently. It might change, but man, that book is amazing. We're Liz Hill and I, who's my publisher with Greenheart Living, we've been spending a lot of time making this book amazing. And so that just finished the first 5 chapters so far, and I'm really proud of it. It's my proudest book to date, and also the most vulnerable, right? Because it's like just me, whereas like the other books I had co-authors. With Great Pause, I had like a ton of co-authors. The Great Pause Journaling Guide was also a ton of authors. Redefining Masculinity was like a group effort for sure, and then with Unapologetically ENFP, it was like me and another author. So this one is the first book that I have that's just me. So that certainly takes a lot of courage and vulnerability. But yeah, I'm excited. It's gonna be very vulnerable, very honest, a lot of good takeaways, a lot of ups and downs in life, just talking about how to stop people pleasing and just funny stories from all the different jobs I've had, and some of the takeaways and some of the funny moments. Do some of that. So if you guys think that it's not possible to write your own book, it is possible. I never thought I'd be publishing 5 books ever in my lifetime, or ever, yeah, ever in general, like even just one book. So you kind of have to honor yourself, be kind to yourself, and just respect where you are in life right now. And you never know. Like one day, who knows? One of my goals is to write a New York Times best-selling book. So that's going to be good as I continue to get better at the art of writing and storytelling and be able to add value and be able to leverage my network to be able to grow. And then I'm doing some training with Wor Vaden, and so far this week I've been listening to being trained on. It's called the influential leader, and he brings up a good point. He said that this is a funny story. I'll never forget this story because Wor Vaden he's probably the one of the best storytellers I've ever listened to. So he has a pastor, a guy named Kevin Green, who he lives in Nashville. So they have one of those like big mega churches that has like hundreds and hundreds of up to over 1,000 members. And he was saying during the selection committee portion, which Rory is a part of, he said Kevin told us a story about. He's like, it's interesting, right? It's like you roll into town, like he and all these. There was a king rolling into town, where all of these um, as a peasant, I don't know, all of these like members of the kingdom were like worshiping and like praising and like celebrating the king on the donkey. And he's like, you know, like being a good pastor, I feel you're just a donkey. And then he's like, huh. And he was alluding to like you can't it's like and the donkey it'd be foolish to think that the donkey is what the donkey would egotistically, it'd be funny if the donkey, or would be ridiculous if the donkey was like, "Oh man, like everyone's celebrating me. I'm so amazing." But it's like, no, like I'm just a donkey. And he's like, leadership is a lot like that. It's like if you do leadership for the ego and the celebration and like how much money you make, it's like it's actually not you. It's everyone else. It's the team member. It's everyone putting in the effort. It's the timing, the product, the territory, the being at the right place at the right time. So that was a great analogy because he's basically saying like if you're really really successful, it's actually rarely you that's why you're successful. It's because you work at a really good company, like at LinkedIn, for instance. When I was very, very successful there, it was like, was it because I was super talented, or was it because I had a really good manager, amazing product, the market conditions were great, my coworkers are brilliant. So it's a good reminder of it's never, not never, right? Because like you have some part of it, but when things are going really well, it's like, hey, was it because I lived in New York City, I worked in the Empire State Building, or when the economy was booming, like there was so much more money to go around. So when it comes to your own success, it's less of I wouldn't say if I was to quantify, maybe 50% of it is like how much effort you put in. Were you raised in a good family? Did you go to a good school? Did you happen to win the genetic lottery? Like for instance, I was born in the U.S. In New Jersey, which is close to Philadelphia, which is a city, but then close enough that I could move to New York City, and then I was surrounded by really, really smart and people with deep pockets. So I think it's like the year that you graduated from college, it's like what companies you work for, the decisions you made. Yeah, that's half of it. But it's also, I was very lucky to have amazing leaders and amazing bosses and all these amazing people to leverage their a lot of good relationships, people that have really helped me out. So just something to think about, just food for thought. All right, so I got 7 minutes till I'm home. So yeah, so later when I get back, I'm gonna switch and do my morning routine. But yeah, I have some deliverables today, so I'm gonna finish doing the stuff for the podcast because I'm interviewing Kishore, who's my managing director for the Valenta episode 5. So I'm gonna be doing some work there, and then I'm gonna write my newsletter, but the bulk of today's focus will be creating the 30, 60, 90-day plan for the last portion of the interview process. Do an assessment. So We'll see what that's like. Hopefully, I'll be able to hit the pool for a bit. You know, get since it's the summer, get work on my tan by chilling by the pool and just chill out and just enjoy life a little bit. Because relaxation is important. For those of you that have trouble relaxing and you're always thinking, you're always like, oh, I need to do more, I need to be more, I need to create, I need to be successful. I totally can relate to you guys. If that is what you struggle with, then just take this Friday, take this weekend to just relax, enjoy. You are where you're supposed to be. You're enough. You're complete, whole and complete. Like you don't need to be successful in order to be loved. You don't need to achieve more to accomplish more. Life is happening for you, and community still loves you. We love you. I love you. Without your accomplishments, you're whole and complete. You're enough. You're loved. Your parents love you. Your friends love you, and your community loves you. And that's the message I want to leave you with. Because when we do things because we feel like we have to versus we're doing it because this is your choice, it's a much different energy, right? Because when I make podcasts because I love interviewing people and I love sharing the wealth of knowledge versus like, I don't have the bandwidth to do this. Like, why does everyone want me to, or it's like, oh, I made 200 podcast episodes. I can't stop now. Like, people would think I'm a loser if I don't. Versus like, no, like I just love interviewing people. It's like it's fun. It doesn't feel like work. It's like the result is the same, which is at the end of the day, I get to have 300 episodes of my podcast. But hey, thank you for the like. I appreciate it. Whoever that was. Where are you guys watching from? What country are you guys from? I currently live in New Jersey, which is about an hour from New York City, where I live currently. And oh yeah, I wrote an article about ADHD and ENFP, so I thought that was interesting. So we'll see how well these my newsletter is doing. It seems like every day I'm getting new, not every day, but every week I'm getting new subscribers. So I'm at 2,053 subscribers. So it's cool because it's like you're grind like little bit by little bit, you're like slowly moving up. So hopefully I can get to 10,000 newsletter subscribers by that would be cool if I could do it by the end of next year. That would be my goal. But I think the consistency is key. Obviously, adding value, just sharing openly, being honest, helps the newsletter grow. So we'll see. My goal is to get to, let's see, it's up halfway through, and I just started again. So, all right. So the goal is to get to, let's see if I can get to 3,000 subscribers by the end of this year. I think I'm getting better at the newsletter. Oh, oh, my wife, my wife texted me because she was coloring in her coloring book, and then I started coloring a little bit too, and then she texted me with a picture of it saying "cutie." I guess she thought it was cute that I was coloring in her coloring book. But all right, I'm gonna get ready, shower, get ready for the day, and excited to live stream a little bit when I get back home. Cheers, everyone. Love you guys. Have an amazing